I wanted to make this video last night, but because of what happened during the game, it just didn't feel right. But we got an update on Maurice Norris, as you guys know already, and he is doing better than he was, and he looks to make a full recovery. So we are excited about that, posting that he was good. So now we can rest easy knowing that he will be okay. Don't expect to see him anytime soon, but that is good to know. Now we can talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly that was in yesterday's preseason game that was the official week 1 for the Detroit Lions. The Hall of Fame game is like a bonus game. So every player on the team that is fighting for a roster spot had an extra outing, and that's good for them. And it was good for a lot of people, but not so good for others. And the first person it wasn't so good for was none other than Hendon Hooker. Yesterday, I believe Hendon Hooker has lost the backup quarterback job. He still has 2 more opportunities to prove himself, but fumbling twice in the first half, he had all half to show out, and he fumbled once in the first quarter and I believe once in the second. He was actually pulled with over 5 minutes to go. I think it was a little over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. You could see how disheveled he was on the sideline. That is not how you become the number 2 quarterback. Now, granted, the offensive line was cheeks. Specifically, I think it was Mason Miller. He was terrible. Manu didn't do that well as well. But when you got the other guy, the good guy that came in that had an atrocious showing in the Hall of Fame game, came out and immediately put a drive together with a beautiful deep pass to Jackson Meeks that put us on the board eventually in Kyle Allen. Now, I'm not ready for either one of these guys to be the backup quarterback. I'm going to keep it a buck. Yesterday was a great showing by multiple players, but I am not ready to say that I am confident in either one of those guys running an offense against a number 1 defense, like a first-team defense. But without further ado, man, let's get into... We'll look at some team stats and the box score for the Detroit Lions game yesterday. Now, I got to blow this up a wee bit because it's tough for me to see. There we go. Oh, now, okay, here we go. Detroit Lions had 14 first downs to the Falcons, 9. Passing first downs, 9 to the Falcons, 8. Rushing first downs, the Falcons had 0. And the Detroit Lions had 4. Penalties from first downs, it was a much cleaner game. You know what? Let me minimize this because this kind of there we go. Where we at? Penalties, first downs, 1. Third down efficiency, the Lions went 3 for 9. The Falcons went 1 for 7. Fourth down, we were 2 for 2. The Atlanta Falcons were 0 for 2. Total plays, 46 to 36. Of course, that's because the game was suspended at the beginning of, pretty much the beginning of the fourth quarter. Total yards, 246 to 207. Total drives, 8 apiece. Yards per play, the Detroit Lions 5.3, the Falcons 5.8. Passing, 146 to 185. Completions, only 4 incompletions. Lions went 14 for 18. The Falcons went 19 for 23. Yards per pass, 7 to 7.4. No interceptions yesterday, but 2 lost fumbles by the Detroit Lions. 3 sacks for the Lions and 2 for the Atlanta Falcons. Rushing attempts, we had 100 yards rushing to their 22. Rushing attempts, 25 to 11. Yards per rush, 4 to 2. Red zone attempts, we went 66%, going 2 for 3. They went 1 for 1. Penalties, 5 for 50 yards. So we had a cleaner game from last week. They went 4 for 33. And, of course, we had 2 turnovers, which were 2 fumbles. We actually fumbled 3 times, but Kyle actually bumped into one of the offensive linemen, dropped the ball, but was able to recover it. And there was no defensive or special teams touchdowns. Yesterday, offensive line was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Tate was out there. I think he was playing right guard at first, and then he might have switched to center. But the tackles on both sides were atrocious. They were bad. Manu was bad. He might have gotten a little better as the game went on, but overall, the offensive line was cheeks. It was terrible. It was terrible. But going back to Hendon Hooker, you can't turn the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over. So even though he had an interception, right, in the preseason Hall of Fame game that really shouldn't have even been an INT. It was literally ripped away from Dominic Levet. I don't know what it is, man, but it's been tripping me up lately. Even though it really wasn't his fault, it does go on his record. But these two fumbles, I believe that they were both his fault. One was more than the other. The first time was he was running or whatever, and then the second time it was like a sack strip or whatever. But you got to know, if you're going to be an NFL quarterback, you have to know that the pressure's coming. You got to take the hit, but every quarterback fumbles. But when you are trying to compete for a job, it's not like you're Jared Goff, where you can unfortunately turn the ball over pretty much as you want and you will still be the quarterback. We had 5 turnovers, a ton by Jared Goff in the Texans game, but he's not going anywhere. And I think that's the right call. But when you're fighting for a job, then you can't turn the ball over. And it is not a good look going forward for Hendon Hooker. Put in the comment section below, are you comfortable with either one of these guys being the backup? Right now, I am not. That's just my thoughts. Another standout, Craig Reynolds did very well, seemed to have slowed down after he took that big hit from the player. I saw the ball. It was just floating out there, and I was like, man, I actually saw the flag being thrown, and I don't know. I think he was throwing it. It was the ref on the side, and he threw the flag, and I thought he anticipated the hit and threw the flag, but actually he was throwing the flag for a different play. But Craig was slower after that. He was slower after that, but then he came out the second half. Sailors, I think his name is Sailors, man. The running back from the Battlehawks, he did very well. But it was a lot of standouts yesterday. Let me bring in the box score so we can take a look, and I could be more specific. So when it comes to the quarterback position, I am not comfortable with either one of these guys taking the number 2 role yet. Hendon Hooker is on a shorter leash than Kyle Allen. To me, Hendon has more to prove. He made some moves with his legs, and you can see he went 7 for 10, but he turned the ball over twice. You just can't do that. When it comes to rushing, Jacob Sailors, I think that this guy has a real good chance to make the team. Right now, Sione Vaki is out. I believe he's still injured. I'm not sure, but you would have to assume that Craig is going to be the number 3. It's going to come down to one of these guys. Okay, what do you do? Do you keep Vaki, who hasn't done anything in the preseason? Nothing at all, right? I think he has no playing time. Right now, do you keep Vaki, or do you go with somebody who's actually doing something for you? Because I feel like the Lions are going to keep Vaki, and they're going to try to put both these guys on the practice squad. But right now, I don't know. We got 2 more games. I think that Vaki has the edge because he was a draft pick. Brad Holmes is not going to want to give up his draft pick. Yesterday, Jackson Meeks was able to had a little bit of a slow start, man, dropped the football, but he was able to come alive yesterday and have 3 receptions for 78 yards, had the deep bomb that really sparked the offense of that 64 or 68-yard completion. Ronnie Bell showed up as well. I don't think he's going to make the team. Ronnie Bell showed up as well. That's a bar right there. I don't think he's going to be able to make the team just because the competition is just too much. Isaac Tesla with a nice touchdown catch as well. Hopefully he caught the ball. So standout yesterday was Jackson Meeks. I do believe that Ronnie Bell is going to follow Tom Kennedy to the practice squad. Don't forget, the practice squad is an extension of the roster. Dan Campbell said so himself. We have 16 spots available. 1 will go to a quarterback. And remember, we don't keep a second kicker. We didn't do it last year. I don't think they're going to do it this year. So that'll create another spot for somebody to take the roster. You can see right here, Kyle Allen fumbled, got it back, but it did go down. Hendon fumbled twice and lost them both and was pulled after that second one, even though he was supposed to play the entire first half. Performances. Eric Hallett had a decent game. Rockets in as well. DiCaprio Budo, don't like it. I thought he was going to make the team. I don't think so now. I really don't think so. Zach Cunningham had a big day. And, of course, Maurice Norris, hopefully he is well. Trevor Nowalski, it was a good showing from a few guys. Al-Qadim Muhammad came out and immediately, the first series, applied pressure quite a few times. Grant Stewart was everywhere yesterday. He was rushing, making tacklers, and then out on a running back and was step for step with him. He was beat a little bit. But for you to be on a running back, Grant kind of is a dog, man. He kind of is. Nate Lynn had an impressive showing. Maddox was out there. Ahmed Hassanin, like the motor from this guy. I do. There's one thing you can't take away. He's definitely got a motor for sure. But there's one guy right there. You see this guy right here, Keith Cooper Jr. was in on one tackle, and man, was it a tackle. But one guy I want to highlight, Mr. Broderick Martin himself, 99, came in, had immediately got some pressure. It was a soft little penalty that they called. Okay, came out the next play. The next snap made a play. The next snap made a play. All right, and then was gassed for pretty much the rest of the game. He came in, gave you 3 quality plays, man. I'm not going to admit, I still don't think it's enough for him to make the team. Again, he's going against second and third string, but man, oh man, it was good to see. It was good to see. If he could do that against the first team, then now I see why the Detroit Lions traded up. But Broderick Martin came out and showed, and we had a field day yesterday when it came to the talking about Broderick. So those are the people that really stood out. So I'm going to say, of course, the good is I think Kyle Allen had a good day, right? Hendon Hooker, not so great. And it's not looking good for him as far as that backup role. Broderick Martin had a showing. You know, I will definitely give him his kudos. The pass rush was hungry yesterday. I mean, only resulted in what? How many sacks did we have? Team stats. We had, again, let me look. The Detroit Lions had 3 sacks, right? Let me make sure that is correct. Lions had 3 sacks. Yes, we had 3. We had 3 sacks. The Falcons had 2. So pass rush was hungry yesterday. Again, I would not get too excited with any of this because this is depth. These are guys, we know what our starters are looking like. And for right now, I'm more concerned about Marcus Davenport than I am about Ahmed, right? I'm more concerned about Davenport than I am about Mohammed. But the depth was looking good, even though we don't have that true guy yet opposite Aiden Hutchinson. But, I mean, I don't want to single out one player for the bad. I mean, Hendon, yeah, we got to call a spade a spade. I think Bobblehead didn't have a great day either. But I think the bad was the injury. The injury just put a cloud on the day. It was great to see. So I'm just going to focus on that right now. Like I said, it didn't feel right to critique anybody last night. And we had a guy that we didn't even know how his health was. But the update is he said he was good. He appreciated all the well wishes and prayers and that he looks like he's going to be okay, man. So that's exciting to know. But let me know your comments, your thoughts in the comments below. And also, I almost forgot, man. Shoot. This is important that I start the video like this because we trying to do this. Help keep the Michigan Panthers in Michigan by scanning this QR code. And if you have not already, signing the petition today. Hopefully you guys can still do that. You're still around and you didn't leave and you signed the petition. Last I checked, we were just shy of 1,400 signatures. The Birmingham Stallions are hitting 23. We're trying to catch them and pass them. Had a guy let me know yesterday that he actually saw Dwayne Johnson on one of the routes that he has and said that he wants to keep the UFL, meaning keep the UFL, the Michigan Panthers in Michigan. And Dwayne said they're trying to do everything they can for that to happen. So we'll see if what the rock is cooking, right? Can we smell it? Is it a good smell, or does it smell like something else? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And again, scan this QR code to help us save the Michigan Panthers. If you can, put anywhere in any type of typing section, put Syndicate sent me here, all right? This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I had to grab my mouse again.